Please, the show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What's up, folks? Give me just a second. Let me get everything straight. Hello. I am your host, Shynen Saffron. Welcome to another episode of B.A.D. to Business. I'm going to give some people a second to tap in so we can get in with this conversation. Get myself set up so I can get tapped in on several conversations too, because this is going to be pretty good. On this episode here, I didn't really think that I had to make it like an episode or PSA announcement, so to speak. However, I've been having some conversation with some people, and over the past couple of weeks, and even experienced some things myself, and it's always been a little pet peeve of mine. And so I just thought I'd share, see what y'all thought. Maybe in the comments, y'all can give me a difference of opinion. If you have been following me, my podcast is B.A.D. to Business, bringing all diverse discussions to business. So I always want to bring a difference of opinion to the table, whether it's changing my opinion or we get to change somebody else's opinion. So we always want to be included in the conversation and see what we can bring to the business table. So come on, tap in. Happy Friday, TGIF. We are thanking God that we made it this far because the weeks can be harsh. Again, if you are able to tap in, I'm glad that you made it this far. Please have a seat wherever, you can provide one for yourself. Get comfy. Just for a minute, I'm just going to take up a little bit of your time. And like I said, I'm just going to see what y'all think about something. So, again, I am your host, Shynen Saffron. You are witnessing another episode of B.A.D. to Business. Thank you for tapping in for me. Hey, we getting ready to get started. Come on in, have a seat at the business table. I'm getting ready to share something that I call manipulating the mulberry bush. And the reason why I kind of came up with that is because these conversations. So, you know how people say you beating around the bush? Okay. And that was kind of the inspiration around the mulberry bush. Of course, here we go around the mulberry bush. Yeah, all that thing. So skipping around the mulberry bush, but manipulating the mulberry bush. Not only are you skipping around or beating around what you want to talk about, but you kind of manipulating it in a way that you try to make it seem like it's not what it really is, So I just want to kind of talk to y'all about that this evening and see what y'all think. Again, hit me up in the chats or in the comments. Hit me up in the DMs. Message me. I can revisit this conversation because, like I said, I didn't think I was going to make this a whole thing, but with the experiences and the conversations I've had with some people, they've been venting to me a little bit, and I just, I just felt like it was necessary. It was some things to be said. So, come on in, tap in. Welcome to B.A.D. to Business. Welcome. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this, get this stuff rolling because, again, it's Friday. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'm sure you got stuff to do, and I definitely just want to get through this type of conversation and just see what kind of resolutions we can come to in this type of thing. Maybe you can offer some good advice because I feel some type of way, and we'll just see. So again, this episode is about manipulating the mulberry bush. If you're just joining in, hey, joining in, it's just about people beating around the point of what they want to talk about and still trying to make it seem like it's not what it is. Um, and I feel like, we should talk about this because I've never really understood why people, I guess, tiptoe around what really needs to be said. Now, you do have some straightforward people, what I call straight talkers. I'm known to be one of them, but I'm also known to be a little aggressive. Maybe sometimes it seems a little I'm insensitive. That might just be my nature, but I have not only lived a life, but worked some jobs that are straight to the point. Let's hurry up and get a resolution. And that's how life should be anyway. You shouldn't be so concerned about the problem and not working towards the resolution, right? Um, so I don't think that's a bad thing for me to do. I don't think it's a bad thing for you to do. Anybody else that needs to do that, just get straight to the point, right? But I found that in these conversations and experiences that just in these last couple of weeks and in my experiences that there have been three types of bushes, so to speak, that people tend to beat around for the most part. And that comes to monetary, um, informational, and emotional. Monetary, informational, and emotional. So let's start off with monetary. So let's say somebody just needs to borrow some money from you, or borrow some type of something of value, whatever the case may be. They need to borrow your car, something like that, and they can't seem to get to that. They got to tell you the whole story, or they got to tell you the whole sob story. And if you, like most of us, we don't do pity parties, we don't do crisis conversations. We just really want to get to the point. And the reason why you want to do that, especially in a monetary situation, or I need a favor type of situation, is you don't want to waste time. Most of the time, it's time sensitive, so you definitely don't want to waste time asking somebody for something or trying to get to the point of something. What I call um, a long story to a short point. Long story short. But I mean, the point is so short. The favor be so quick. But if you waste that time trying to tell somebody the whole story and the whole background and making them trying to feel sorry for you or whatever the case may be, um, and then they can't help you, now you've wasted that time telling them that story, and now you got to rush to go somewhere else. And then what? End up telling that whole story again? It's just not worth it. Or you tell them to them, you tell it to the people, and they can help you, but now y'all in a rush to hurry up and get something. By the time you get to the end of that conversation, you like, okay, well now the bank's closed, right? So how am I supposed to help? Like, girl, if you would have asked me, an hour ago, we've been sitting here, you asking me how things going, how the kids doing, all that because you really wanted to ask me for a favor. I am that straight talker, so get straight to the point. Now, I do understand that there are times you do have to elaborate. Um, when people ask you, you know, if you are calling to just ask somebody for a favor, you're trying to get to the point of something, get there. Let them go ahead and either tell you they can help you or they can't, and leave it there. Um, I just think that it's unnecessary conversation. And it seems to, sometimes it can burn more bridges than build them, right? That same bridge you're trying to cross, you're trying to ask that favor, you're trying to, whatever it is you need, you end up having conversation that leads to stuff that doesn't need to be talked about when you're trying to get to that point, right? So I was having a conversation with someone just to get to this point, or just to kind of highlight this point I'm talking about. I was talking to somebody and she said that, she was in a situation where someone needed a favor from her. And instead of him just getting to the point and saying, hey, can you do this for me? He kind of went around the point and, you know, tried to start conversation that she really wasn't trying to have in the first place. And you can kind of tell, you can get the vibe when somebody's like, okay, they're unresponsive, if you will, to conversation. But she Um, she wasn't trying to have the conversation. So the more he talked, apparently, the more it seemed irrelevant to her. And he ended up, I guess, in the midst of small talk, wanted to ask some questions that had nothing to do with him, of course, right? Um, and now she's at a level of irritation and annoyance of what are, what are you talking about? Why are we even talking about this at this point? What's the point? Now she starts to get a little more anxious because now I realize that we're having a conversation that we shouldn't even be having with each other anyway. But again, all in favor of or trying to get to, I need a favor from you. So now by the time you get to, this is what I really need, the person's already upset. They tired of talking to you. You didn't ask questions and said things that didn't need to be said. You've even talked about the things, your pity party or whatever it is, that the story that you wanted to tell them that they may or may not believe. And that's the whole thing too. Discernment is a powerful prayer, because you got to know when to give your energy to something and when not to. You got to know who to talk to, who not to talk to. Um, Again, I feel like the only people that need that story, that backup story or that background story, is the people that ask. So it's really unnecessary. But so anyway, that type of situation. I've been through it. Somebody told me that they've been through it, where again, you just need to ask the favor. And again, now it's time sensitive. Now we got to hurry up and get to something. Now we got to hurry up and figure this out. Or now you got to hurry up and figure it out, because you done wasted time for somebody to give you a solid no. You could have just said, "Can you do this?" No? Cool. Save me a lot of time. Appreciate it. Right? Um, let's get to another bush. The informational bush is real big. It used to be real big with me. It's not too big with me anymore because you know, uh, let me see. One of the best slogans I've found to express the way I feel is, I ain't got nothing to hide, but I ain't got ish to tell you either. Um, but I am really big on, don't ask my neighbor, come to me. I'm really big on that. Really big on that. Especially if it's somebody who talks to me on a regular basis, somebody who knows me. And, you just got those nosy type of people around you, or concerned people around you, and they just want to kind of know what's going on. And they're too afraid to ask you your business. Go figure. Too afraid to ask you your business. But they're not afraid to ask your neighbor if they've seen what's going on over the fence. So I've experienced that a lot in my life. I'm pretty sure you have experienced a lot of that in your life. And if you never have, salute to you, because it's really annoying to have somebody who can stand right next to you and still ask somebody else about you. So, um, and when I found myself even in that situation, and I asked the person why they couldn't just ask me, why they felt the need to go and ask somebody else, or ask the person next to me, as though the person was just going to give up that information that easy on me. And she said, well, you tend to get a little snappy when people ask you about your business. Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that. It can happen, but like I had to explain to this person, sometimes you just got to check what you're asking, especially if you feel like I'm going to get snappy about it. Now, I will get sarcastic, and even I told this person, I mean, how mad can I get? How upset can I get? Like, what actually can come out of you just asking me what you want to know, and not beating around the bush, or, even I've had somebody even make up something to see my reaction so that they could ask me something. Just come on. We just at this point, we really live in a time sensitive world. So we don't need all that extra stuff. Let's get to what we're trying to get to. I guarantee you we'll accomplish so much more in the short period of time we still have left. But um so yeah, you got to check what you asking. And some people do get snappy about what you ask them. Celebrities go through it all the time. I'm no type of celebrity, but I am about what is even necessary for somebody to know. Now, if you're asking me something that keeps stuff rolling, if we're in partnership, a family member who needs to know something so they can move forward, I mean, by all means, share that with me. But if you just asking because you just want to know, and then you get to the point where if you ask me, I'm gonna get a little testy, sarcastic, and feel some type of way. So you then decide to ask somebody else. Come on, man. We can't do that. We cannot do that. I mean, again, the people that are in these situations, they ain't the first and they ain't gonna be the last. But I just really felt like, come on, what's really going on? What is really going on? Like, can we not waste this time talking about what we need and just, asking, hey, this is what I need, and see what happens. And if you can't get it from the person you're asking, then go ask somebody else. But it's that simple. And like I said, especially when it's time sensitive, um, it just seems like it's a domino effect. You setting up these dominoes to knock them down, but I don't even know if people know which way that the domino is going. The dominoes are spinning. Again, it takes so long to get them down because you're doing more than two or three. You got to tell the whole backstory. So let's move on to the next bush. So we had the monetary bush where we asking for favors and it takes people so long to get there. Time sensitive. I need a favor. I need a place to stay. I need some money. I need something. And you need not take all day to ask me because I might not be able to help you by the time you finish asking me. Right. Then we got the informational bush where you are seeking for information. I, for one, suggest you make sure that it's need to know information, especially if you coming at me about it. Um, make it make sense. And if you're not gonna come to me about it, just make it make sense to yourself before you try to go and ask somebody else about me. It's been one of my things where I don't ask a lot about other people's business because if I'm going to open that door to ask their business and receive their information, that opens mine too. It's just unnecessary. And again, I ain't got nothing to hide, but I ain't got nothing to share, you know? So, I'll give the information where it's needed. Next bush, emotional. And in this one, it's more so like emotional support. There's sometimes we really need that and we don't know how to ask for that. I will pull my own card. I'll clean up the stuff out of my own eye before I pick out of somebody else's eye. I do know people in the situation like that, but I'm one of them. I'm one of them. One of those people who cannot ask for help, or it's hard, And I'm starting to, since I've identified that that's what I need to do. I've been this shapeshifter to survival, and I'm gonna get into that in another episode. But I've been a shapeshifter to survival so long that asking for help seems like letting down a line of defense. And of course, I'm always on the defense. I'm a mama bear, and I've been that way and a protector for a long time, provider and protector for a long time. So I can't let any of the empire that God has allowed me to build get crushed over anything stupid. So, but things do get hard. They get rough. They get heavy, and it's hard to say, "Hey, things are hard, rough, and heavy." Sometimes I feel like the people around me, or uh, the well, I'm gonna say the people around me should already know. because they're already seeing it. I am one of those people that are like a see a need, feel a need. And I had to kind of calm that down because I realized that a lot of those things were distractions. I was jumping into things. My last episode, we talked about, me and Jazzy talked about discernment, knowing when to help, when not to. And sometimes the devil knows that you are one of those spirits that are a see a need, feel a need type of person, and he'll throw those distractions so you can just squirrel right off your path, right? Um, but with this one, the emotional support, how to ask for help, and you don't know how to say it. I remember a situation where I saw someone get really upset because they were in a relationship and she expressed something to her spouse, and I guess she expected him, excuse me, from the way I saw it, she expected him to react a different way, and he reacted his way. All right, he's a man, she's a woman, and there was nothing leading to the conversation. She was fishing, you know, for what she needed, but he didn't respond well, which ultimately, again, setting up those dominoes. Um, he didn't respond the way she wanted him to, which ultimately made her respond not well. And I just kind of watched it unfold. I did say my two piece in it, but ultimately that's their relationship. But I just felt like, wow, she could have just said something like, well, wow, I expected you to say this, or, um, you know, well, how about this? Or, I don't want to get too much into that part of the situation because I'm no longer around that situation and it wouldn't be fair to tell that person's business. But I just saw that she needed some emotional support. And because she didn't know how to ask for it, he didn't know how to respond to it. It caused a bad domino effect. The dominoes fell out of control. So, with these beating around the bushes, and again, the conversation tonight is about manipulating the mulberry bush. So, not only are you beating around a bush, but you're making it seem like that's not what you're trying to get to. That's not the point. You're curving the conversation. Um, I don't know if it's to make you more comfortable. I don't know how that goes for people who are not straight talkers like myself. Um, but I also know that being a straight talker is, or can be, a gift and a curse. Um, I've experienced some loss, some loss, some friendship loss. Just being straightforward about some things. The Bible tells you that the tongue is a two-edged sword. So you got to be careful how you put it out there, and because of how it'll return. And I know I've had this running joke with my cousin where it's like, I got to be careful how I talk to people because I realize I can be a little straight talker and a little more sarcastic than I need to be at most times. Um, and I've said things like, or the running joke is, you know, people can't talk to me the way I talk to them. And I know that sounds, one-sided. I know. Uh, which is why I had to kind of switch that up a little bit. So I just wanted to come with y'all tonight, bring this to the business table and see if we can get some type of resolution. I need y'all to stop beating around the bush. I don't know who it is that you're trying to talk to. Honestly, less words, less feelings, right? Less words, less emotions. If you just get straight to the point, you don't start to think about what the other person's thinking. You don't start to feel a different body language, because I remember one thing my grandmother used to say is, I can't give you good advice without knowing the whole story. Of course, I only want to tell her bits and pieces about something that was going on before she was just like, this don't sound right. I want to tell you this, but then something sounds amiss. Message. So get straight to the point. I get it that it is sometimes hard, scary, but like I said, depending on who you're talking to, if you're cool with the person, it shouldn't be that hard. It really shouldn't be that hard. We we bail and fail on relationships, friendships, partnerships, because we really can't just say what we mean. There is a way. to say things. I remember my mom used to say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So definitely hang on to that. But I just want to share that with y'all. Um, I'm not going to make this too long, but like I said, I didn't think I had to make this a PSA announcement or make this a whole episode, but this was just something that was coming up, and I couldn't take it anymore. I really couldn't. There are people who need stuff, want stuff, and they just they take too long to get to the point. So I'm not gonna prolong this. I want y'all to hit me up. Let me know what you think. Got a lot of different things going on. I'm gonna just go ahead and end that because that's that. Right? I'm not gonna prolong that conversation any longer. That's that. Moving forward, I got some different things going on, some different projects coming up. I know I've been kind of off the scene for a little bit, but I've been trying to get some other things established. You know, build other things up so that I can, just be the queen of the castles that I need to be. It takes some time to rebuild your mind as you're rebuilding yourself. I've taken a lot of time to myself. I didn't post a lot. I haven't really been showing up. Again, if you've been following me, one of my first episodes was God telling me I need to show up. And, disobedience is its own punishment. So there are ways that I know I was supposed to show up, and I let false false evidence appearing real, fear, kind of hinder me, and I really gotta shake that. So one thing that I was standing on this morning, I was praying with God or praying to God, and F fear and cancer too. Happy Cancer Month to all those survivors, but F fear because and cancer, because both have the ability to deteriorate your life, but you got to have the fight of faith in both situations, um, and there is a chance that you'll come through. You know, you cancer survivors and you fearful survivors. I'm about to be a fearful survivor. Um, it will happen. It will happen. So anyway, got a lot of stuff coming up. I hope that you guys can join me. Keep tuned. Keep connected to me. I'm doing a lot more posts and getting out there. I got some projects that's going in the way that I really need them to go. I'm gonna need some help. I might be reaching out and stuff. I got some new episodes coming up. I might be reaching out to some of y'all. Some of y'all have already reached out to. The next episode we're working on is our entrepreneurship episode. I hope y'all can tune in. And again, if you're still willing to be part of the panel, you can hit me up. We'll squeeze you in. That one's gonna be good because I feel like it can reach one, teach many. So I hope y'all stay tuned. And yeah, just stay connected with me. See what's going on. Again, I am your host, Shynen Saffron. Thank you for joining B.A.D. to Business. And I hope that we got something resolved today. I hope that y'all got something out of this today. If you didn't, tell me you didn't. If you did, tell me what you did. Both times, say something. All right? Thank you for tuning in. Happy Friday to everybody. If you're going out, be safe. If you're not going out, have fun at home. Have fun with yourself. Have fun with your kids. Have fun with your pets. Have fun with yourself. Okay? Be safe in all of it. Signing out.